It's 18th century Vietnam, and the nation is locked in a deadly civil war between the Trinh lords in the north and the Nguyen lords in the south. Government officials are corrupt, and the values that once held society together are viewed as restrictive and, worst of all, ineffective. That sounds like a pretty bad situation, right? The Vietnamese were living in a turbulent era of history. Those who were alive at the time felt a strong sense of frustration towards everything ranging from famines to loss of faith in government and traditional values. Amidst these growing frustrations, new folk stories began to emerge, all revolving around a plucky scholar known as Trang Quynh. Trang Quynh is a scholar and a trickster in Vietnamese folklore who used his intelligence, cunning, and sharp tongue to denounce the rich and powerful, defend the common man, and expose problems within Vietnamese society. His targets ranged from local elders to the emperor, the Chinese, and even gods. The story known as Stealing the Emperor's Cat sees Trang Quynh stealing a cat that was served food that was better than what many people could afford at the time. He brings the cat back to his home and begins to train it to eat only scraps and leftovers. Eventually, the emperor catches wind of what Trang Quynh has done and summons him to his court. Upon their arrival, the emperor immediately recognizes his cat and orders that Trang Quynh be punished. But Trang Quynh is smart, and he tells the emperor, "There are many cats like this in the country. They can be differentiated by their behavior. The king's cat must have gotten used to good meals, but villagers' cats will eat anything given to them." He devised a test where 2 bowls of food are laid out in front of the cat, each with foods of different quality. The cat, remembering its training, walks right past the bowl of nice food to the bowl containing fish bone and scraps. Trang Quynh then gives a hearty laugh and brings home the cat, leaving the emperor heartbroken. In this story, Trang Quynh notices how the emperor treats his cat better than his subjects, and uses that to his advantage. Many peasants at the time felt that they were too restricted and unable to criticize the ruling dynasty or their local officials, so the stories of Trang Quynh became widespread as a way to communicate their hardships and perceived mistreatments by the ruling class and restrictive social and religious values. In another story titled Compensation for the Mother Goddess, Trang Quynh was on his way to take an imperial examination when he passed by the shrine for the mother goddess Ba Chua Liu. He went into the shrine and vowed to give a cow to the goddess if he passed his test. After passing the test, Trang Quynh comes back with a cow and her calf. He leaves the mother cow at the shrine and begins to walk away with the calf, but the mother cow follows them back out, knocking over tables and ornaments in the process. Trang Quynh then brings both of the cows back home because, of course, a generous and loving mother goddess would not want to separate a calf from its mother like that. The goddess, not wanting to lose face, begrudgingly accepts that she had lost to Trang Quynh. Now this mother goddess would later grow angry enough with Trang Quynh to strike back in another story, where she is once again outsmarted. In Vietnamese society, it was uncommon for humans to be able to outsmart gods. Usually, gods would punish humans for acting out of line. This story is yet another example of how Trang Quynh flips societal norms. Over the years, there's been a lot of debate on what or who is the heart of any given nation. Is it in the hands of the rulers and nobles who set the laws, or is it the common people who ultimately decide how to shape their destiny? Vietnam especially has had many influences forced on it over the millennia, but in this instance, the breaking of societal norms in the stories of Trang Quynh shows that the peasants and common people of Vietnam were not only working through changing times, but also attempting to assert their place as the trendsetters of society.